Welcome back to Ortega Squared. I'm Angel.
And I'm Jaden.
There's a lot of news today, so let's get into that. First thing first, the big announcement. Playboi Carti drops an album. What do you think of that, Jaden?
So first off, I'm just gonna start here off, Angel, that this album was highly anticipated for 5 years now. You know, Cardi was just saying like, oh, I'm gonna drop music, I'm gonna drop this, drop a whole lot of Red Deluxe. He never dropped it, and then he ended up dropping music. And the thing about music that really like surprises me is a lot of people are hating on it. And the thing that really surprises me as well is that this happened with a whole lot of Red, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
That people were hating on Whole Lotta Red, and then months later, everyone starts saying, "Oh, it's such a good album."
Mm-hmm.
But we gotta understand that this album wasn't made for like Kendrick fans. It wasn't made for like Drake fans. This was made for Cardi fans. So obviously, someone who isn't a fan of Cardi is just gonna think, "Oh, he's just screaming the whole beat. Oh, he doesn't know how to make music. He's not a good rapper." But you're not a Cardi fan, so I feel like it's just an album that was made specifically for Cardi fans. And like me, I like the album, and I know you like the album as well, right?
Yeah, so music is the title of the album.
Right.
Jaden is not just saying music. The album is titled Music, or the cover is I Am Music. It's a 30-song album. It's a longer, but it's actually only an hour minute. So like average song time's like about 2 minutes. Big features, which, like, to your point that this album is not for fans of music entirely, I think it is. This is some of the greatest, production and some of the greatest features we've heard from a trap album. Some, uh, it sounds like, I agree that it sounds more like a mixtape, which is like the general opinion,
Right.
because the production on it it's all over the place, but it's so good. We have production from, I think Kanye produced a track, Travis Scott, Mike
Metro.
Dean, Metro, and he got back with Filthy. I think the production is the best we've seen out of Playboi Carti's, and I also think it's the best, some of the best, just songs from Carti. I think. Well, I want to hear what's your rating. What do you rate the album?
So if I'm gonna rate this album out of a 10, I'm going 9.5 out of 10. Only reason I'm not giving 10 out of 10.
9.5,
Yeah,
okay.
only reason I'm not giving it out of 10 is because the album is phenomenal, but the only reason I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10 is because it doesn't have Ken on it. It doesn't have Lone, but that's okay though, because either way, the features are amazing as is. Like you got Travis, Kendrick, you got Future and Young Thug. But like I feel like it's just missing Ken and Lone, especially since they're a part of Opium as well. But it's alright though. I feel like he's gonna drop them in his next album titled Baby Boy that he released, that he announced. So
Yeah, Opium is the name of the record label. If you didn't know, it's his own record label. I think it's a great album. I wouldn't put it a nine range. I think it's an 8. I gave it another listen. I gave it an initial listen when it came out, and I gave it another listen this weekend. I think it's a good album. Heavy. What's your favorite song from it? Before I give my rating.
my favorite song, I have to go to Olympian.
Olympian. Is there a feature on that song?
Nope.
No feature. My favorite song is a feature. It's The Weeknd, Rather Lie. I'd rather lie than lose you. It's so good. We got a new sound out of Carti.
Yeah.
Which he always likes to experiment, but a new sound. He started singing. A lot of people didn't expect it. There's some viral moments from Twitch and YouTube that went viral over the weekend. All the features on the album were good. The one everybody's talking about is Kendrick's feature on
Good Credit.
On Good Credit, yeah. Which is the okay one. Kendrick's rapping over a rage beat, which we haven't seen. And then there's Mojo Jojo, which
hey Cardi, I need that Back to the Future, Cardi.
Big meme. Kendrick is only doing ad-libs, but it's really silly. It's not what we expect from Kendrick. And a lot of people calling out Kendrick for being a hypocrite. You heard about that?
Nah, explain.
So apparently, Anthony Fantano said it, and other people on Twitter, there's some debate that Kendrick's a hypocrite for getting on an album with like a type of person he was kind of calling out.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff he said to Drake, Kendrick is now doing. Running to Atlanta, a quote from the song Kendrick released, another one from one of the disses Kendrick released. Yeah, agree, but like maybe we should separate this beef. I didn't really hear it too much. I didn't really look into the lyrics. Apparently, Kendrick's back to dissing Drake on songs again, which I mean at this point it's a little annoying. It is.
Yeah, I just feel like to be honest with you, man, if we look Drake has a song with Kendrick like all the way back then, one of his older albums. But the thing about it is, I feel like the whole beef thing is just like I just think it's pretty dumb. Like at this point, like they're just doing it for like I feel like Kendrick's just doing it for clout at this point or something. But like I just don't. I'm not a fan of it. Like they're both their own great artists. Like I don't like. I'm not saying nothing against them. I just feel like it's something that just needs to stop and they should just like make up already. Because it's just something that's just I don't want to see no more on social media or anything.
Yeah. I mean, the Kendrick feature doesn't really take away from the other features on the album. Like, there's a great song from Skepta, UK-based artist,
I study the street.
a rapper. There's a great song with Future. I think Future and Cardi called Charge. I can't say the full name. It's another great song. You could see it on Spotify. Great song from Lil Uzi, Pink Tape. A Pink Tape era song that I think probably wasn't released on Uzi's album, but it came out on this Cardi album. Ty Dolla $ign Young Thug on one of my favorite songs on the album, which sounds more like a Young Thug song. We need all the vibes. I think it's more a Young Thug song.
I make sure that they vibing.
But it's one of my favorite on the album. So I'm pushing that Kendrick stuff aside. I think it's annoying. To rate this album, I'm giving an 8. Some of the best features. There's some skippable tracks that there was like a few songs in a row that was just Cardi. I was like, I don't really want to listen to this. But the songs are great, the features are great, the production's great, and I'm definitely going back to Rather Lie. That song is my favorite.
Yeah, like one thing I know, like every time The Weeknd and Cardi come together, like they always just drop a banger. Like we see Timeless that was like really popular, and like we have Cardi in the beginning of the song, and then we just have The Weeknd doing his thing. Just like this whole album though, like we get to see all like the different types of the voices of Cardi. Like he has like his deep voice Cardi, you have high pitched Cardi. Then we have like Angel said in Rather Lie, like he's like singing. And, like, we all know, like, a lot of people who are, like, Cardi fans, they know that he's a well-talented artist, and, like, every time he's on a beat, he just sings and really just does what he's known for, but we just have a lot of good features on this album, but a lot of people are just not a fan of this album, saying that it's bad, but I guarantee you in a couple months from now, everyone's gonna start talking good about music.
Yeah, same thing we heard 5 years ago with Whole Lotta Red.
Yeah, everyone was just hating on it, and, like, I don't know why, like, it was a good album as well. Like, everyone was just like, "Oh, he's just yelling over the beats," and then, like, 5 months later, everyone's just like, "Oh, this is, like, the best Cardi album."
And then everybody started doing it, which I think it's easy for me to say that Cardi is a trendsetter.
Right.
He will change. You will hear more people sound like this Cardi that we heard. Everybody's gonna start doing what he's doing, but the initial hate is gonna come because that's what people do.
Right.
You gave it a 9. 9 what?
9.5.
He gave it a 9.5. I gave it an 8. For the next topic, some beef. We got some beef in the NBA world, specifically the most talked about person in basketball, LeBron James. March of 2025 this year, during a game, LeBron went up to Stephen A during a timeout. Pressed Stephen A. Did you see that?
I saw it a lot on YouTube. Like I saw like clips of like LeBron going up to him, like pressing him. That's what everyone was saying, like, oh, LeBron presses Steven. But the thing about it though, you have to understand the context of why it happened. Like LeBron, like if you know LeBron, he's not just gonna go up to some random person and start like intimidating them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand what actually happened, if you want to start that off then.
Yeah, so context, leading up to the game, Smith had on Stephen A. Smith's show, he was talking about Bronny and his readiness for the NBA.
Bronny James did not do what it took to earn a spot on an NBA roster.
Talking about how his father influenced what he was doing, and how he got to the NBA. Remarks led to some mixed reactions, really. Some fans agreeing. Anyway, during the game, LeBron approached Stephen A. and he said, "Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son." Now, I heard Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade were talking about it, how this is your kid. Like, you're going to automatically defend him.
There is a fine line of I am a father.
Stephen A. responded. He said that he was more talking about how it's LeBron's fault, not Bronny's, and that LeBron is putting an immense amount of pressure on Bronny.
When we're talking about the Lakers, that's about LeBron, not Bronny. Bronny wanted to get drafted by any NBA team. Mm-hmm. He wanted to hear his name.
What do you think? I think this is a crazy situation.
So what I think is I'm gonna put it in the point of view of a father for once. So when LeBron approached Steven,
Jaden is not a father.
I am not a father by any means, but I'm just gonna say it through the lens that LeBron was doing. So Steven was talking about his son, saying that he probably he has all this pressure and he's probably not up to par. He's probably not ready for the NBA. But the way LeBron sees it is that you're talking about my son. So LeBron approached him not as a player but as a dad. And like, if you're a dad, you're gonna have a kid. If your kid's getting made fun of, you're gonna stand up for your kid, obviously.
Yeah, like
So I feel like I'm on LeBron's side, but I feel he could have done it in a different way, not approach him during a game. Like, I'm pretty sure he got off like the bench, right, and like left the huddle or something like that, and then he just
yeah,
approached him.
like I mean, it was real unprofessional.
Correct, but
And obviously, like it's gonna receive a lot more hate, and
right,
a lot more comments because LeBron is obviously the face of the NBA. He's been that for 20 some years. In my opinion, I do think the talk and the news and the reporting on Bronny is too much. Like he's balling out in the G League. Like that's be said. He's better than the 4 people taken before him. He's better than some of the people taken after him. I think he's averaging 20 points per game in the G League. Like he's a good player. It's annoying. Obviously they're gonna talk about Bronny. Let's talk about something else. Like it's just stupid.
and the thing like that really irritates me is this is his rookie season in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying like, oh, he's probably not ready for the NBA. Can we just keep in mind this is his rookie season? He needs time to develop. He needs time to mature as a player. Like,
That's the argument against LeBron. Like LeBron is putting him. It did start him during during his rookie year. Other people are playing G Leaguers. It's not too crazy to see. And he's not playing that long. Like he's playing for maybe 5 minutes at the end of the game when everybody's tired. Like it's
a normal
sub-in. He's not there to make an immediate impact. I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah, I just think that Bronny, like, I think personally he's a good player. Like, he needs, like, of course, time to develop and mature as a player, like LeBron did. Like, he was in the league for so long, and now what? He still dominates even how old he is. But Bronny just needs time to develop, and I just feel like all this like talk about him saying he's not ready. I just want you guys to keep in mind that it's his rookie season, and he needs time to develop and just grow.
If I'm LeBron in this situation, would I press Stephen A? I don't know. Like, are you gonna press everybody else who's been talking? I think it was just because Stephen A was there that he was the person who got the short end of the stick. I mean, it's these jobs for these reporters to report. Like that's what they're doing.
But if we look at Stephen A. Smith, if we know his history, he always has that history of like calling out players and saying like
and hating LeBron.
Yeah.
It's always been like that.
I don't want to see it because LeBron James does not deserve it. LeBron James does not deserve to be with Steph Curry.
I feel like in my part, yeah, I agree with LeBron, but I feel like LeBron could have taken a different course of action, knowing who Stephen A. Smith is and what he does in his career. So I just think LeBron is in the right in a way, but in also another way, he could have just done it a different way.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot to be said about like basketball. I mean, reporting in general, like an analyst now, the Stephen A's of the world, the Shannon Sharps of the world, the Skip Baylesses of the world. Is that who we're gonna listen to when they're talking about basketball? I would rather listen to someone who knows the game. Like Carmelo's getting into it for NBC, I think. Like that's who I want to hear. I want to hear actual basketball players from this era who's been in the league recently. That's who I want to see. I'm tired of these Stephen A's. It's getting annoying. The Unk analyst. That's what they are.
If we look, we also have Charles Barkley. Like, I'm pretty sure he also said something that he agreed with LeBron, like I said, but he just could have done it in a different way. Like, he had no need to just
I
go
feel
up
like,
and
but
press him.
Charles Barkley's another guy who's just like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like, I'm going to just hate on this team. Not because I watched them, just because I didn't like them when I played, or just because blah, blah. Like, it's annoying. Like, I want to see, like, John Wall started doing it. Like I said, Carmelo's going to start doing it. That's who I want to see talk about basketball.
The thing is, though, like, one thing we have to understand is the game of basketball has changed, okay? These guys that are older, like Charles Barkley and them, like, they're used to, like, playing in their time. If we look at Shaq as well, they're used to a different style of play, like, when they were in the NBA. So if we look at how the NBA has changed now, well, like, we have people like, we have LaMelo, like, people like that just changed the game and have done some great things for the NBA at such a young age.
Yeah, like, I get, people are sad that Inside the NBA is ending, but, like, you watch some of those episodes of that show, and you realize these guys aren't, like, taking notes. Like, these guys aren't showing notes. They're just talking. Which, I mean, I understand if you played basketball, but, like, I want to hear actual opinion, actual stats. Like, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear Charles Barkley making fun of the woman in San Antonio.
What's he gonna do in San Antonio, Chuck? If Shaq go down there and be the woman and have a baby, they gonna be the biggest kids in the world.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, one thing I personally think, like, in that part of the NBA, there's, like, this huge bias. There's this huge bias, and, like, I feel like in order for, like, there to be good talks about the game, there just has to be, like, differences put aside and just actual real opinions and thoughts on how to make the game better.
A lot. I feel like there's a lot of bad news out there. Back on the topic of bad reporting, NFL free agency. It's really silly. I gotta stop saying silly, but that's what it is. Like, there's nothing else to say about it. It's the most. I don't know where to find good news about football right now.
The thing about reporting about NFL, so many things.
I mean, the same thing as we just talked about with the NBA. Like,
it's just completely misleading and just like for clicks and views. Like, let's say, for example, like just so like rumors. Let's say like for us, like as Giants fans, Aaron Rodgers is rumored to join the Giants, and like no, it's not gonna happen. And then I heard people saying that like the reason he would want to join the Giants is because since he was already with the Jets, he wouldn't have to move from his house then.
So the big thing they're talking about right now is the QB race. Specifically the QB race between the Steelers, Giants, and Browns. Giants and the Browns, Browns are picking number 2, Giants are picking number 3 in this draft. The big guys, the big QBs, Shador, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart maybe, who's apparently moving up. Like, I don't even know because I don't know what to trust. Those are the guys in the draft, but there's a big QB race right now for Aaron Rodgers, for free agents Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. So before we talk about who we think these teams are going to go for, there's been rumors, like you said, about Aaron Rodgers.
Ridiculous.
So I have 10 rumors. We're going to play a little game.
Okay.
I have 10 rumors, and you're going to decide if it's true or false, if this is a real rumor that has been shared publicly. You ready?
Yes.
All right, number 1. Rodgers met with Tom Brady for advice on his next move.
I'm gonna say false with that one because Tom Brady's already retired and he's like what he goes on to like comment. He's a commentator now. I feel like he wouldn't have that influence like on a current player. Like I feel like there's no need for him to like participate in that. So I think it's false.
You are correct. That is false. I don't even think Tom Brady's allowed to talk to Rodgers because he's like the owner of the
There's just like a sense
part owner of the Raiders.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's allowed.
Bad.
All right, number 2. The Vikings have no interest in in Aaron Rodgers. Is this a real rumor?
They have no interest in him.
Yes.
That might be true. I'm saying that for the fact that since the Vikings are division rivals of the Packers, and the Packers already destroyed them, like back in the day when Rodgers like was in his prime, and they would want him now, develop him into a QB and have like revenge.
Well, unfortunately, this makes no sense. But this is a real rumor. I saw it today.
Oh wow.
That the Vikings have no interest, but Rodgers strongly wants to go the Vikings apparently, and the Vikings really want Rodgers apparently. I don't know who to believe. Rodgers gonna follow in Favre's footsteps, but apparently the Vikings have no interest. So who knows what they're actually thinking. All right, number 3, Packers and Jets are discussing an option for Rodgers to return to Green Bay.
I can see it happening. Rodgers returning to Green Bay, but just have to like if we understand like why the Packers like didn't just continue with Rodgers. I don't see why they would bring him back.
No, it's a fake rumor.
Okay.
But I could see it. I could see it,
but like I just think it's too fake. It wouldn't make sense then.
Number 4, Aaron Rodgers is highly interested in the Vikings.
That's true.
It is true. I just said it. I gave that one away. Aaron Rodgers reportedly reached out to multiple teams himself, including the Giants.
That one might be true.
That is true.
Okay.
Apparently, during the combine, Aaron Rodgers reached out to the Giants. Please get me. Apparently, I don't know how it goes down. I don't know who to believe. Number 6, Aaron Rodgers to announce his decision on the Pat McAfee show.
True.
That is true. According to the rumors, Aaron Rodgers is going to announce his decision on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
I was trying to find anywhere that was actually true. I saw some headlines that maybe proved it right. Who knows? This one kind of ties in. Number 7, Steelers and Giants are monitoring Rodgers' decision while considering other quarterbacks.
That might be false.
That is true. Apparently, the Steelers and Giants are waiting for the Pat McAfee show and Rodgers to make his decision before they go with their decision. which I think is the dumbest thing ever.
You know, like just to quick my opinion real quick, I can see the Giants picking up Rodgers only for the reason of mentorship. Because if the Giants are going to go ahead and draft a quarterback, I want a quarterback who's been in the league for a long time now, such as Rodgers. He's currently the oldest player in the NFL right now, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm the Giants, I'd pick up Rodgers to help him develop Cam Ward or Shadir Sanders, you know?
Yeah, but I heard the argument that Rodgers isn't a real good mentor. Like, he didn't really mentor Jordan Love, apparently, or didn't mentor some of the young guys for the Jets. Who knows? I know another rumor, Giants apparently going to trade for #1 pick. Who knows? Number 8, Giants and Steelers waiting on Rodgers' decision to sign Russell Wilson.
Oof. That one might be true.
This is a real rumor
Okay.
that was out. Apparently, like I said before, the Giants and the Steelers, I think, and the Browns, all met with Russell, and they're all waiting for Rodgers to make a decision.
Okay.
This doesn't make any sense. Why would 3 teams bank on one quarterback? They should be making their own decisions. I think it's just false. Like, just outlandish how, like, teams are waiting for another player. Like, this guy's like LeBron James. Number 9, Aaron Rodgers was spotted in Nashville, fueling speculation about the Titans.
That one's false.
That is false.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happening though. But I don't know who's spotting Aaron Rodgers in Nashville. So that is a false. That is not a real rumor. Number 10, our final one. A source claims Rodgers wants more input in offensive play calling at his next team.
True.
That's a fake rumor.
Fake. Wow.
I mean, but it sounds really real. It's probably true,
It sounds real. Like, I don't know how it would be fake. It makes sense.
but it's not a rumor. But this is my problem with Aaron Rodgers. I don't want him to call the plays.
No.
Like, he needs to be coachable. That's the whole point. But he's like GM, LeBron. He wants to call the plays. He wants to draft his guys. He wants to get free agents. Anywhere he goes, this is what we saw in the Jets when he got out and got some guys like Devontae Adams. Just not a player I want on my team. I'm a Giants fan, unfortunately, honestly. So out of those quarterbacks, Jin, Shador, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, who do you think's going to what?
So I heard a lot of speculation, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that the Giants want to trade up to the first pick of the draft, pick up Cam Ward. I've seen a lot of mock drafts with Cam Ward, but I don't really realistically see it happening. I feel like the Giants should just stick with the pick they have and just try to draft a QB, and then maybe pick up like an older QB to mentor, or like maybe have a bridge QB and like let the rookie develop on the bench and get some reps in maybe. But I can't really tell you who I think specifically is going to where, because I know there's a lot of teams right now that are in drastic need of a quarterback, and we have a lot of teams that are already set with a franchise quarterback. But if we look at the Jets, the Browns, especially the Giants, but they just need someone who can actually provide for them long term and not just get someone who's just going to be a failure. Like, if we look at the Giants, they had Daniel Jones. He showed potential and stuff, but I feel like the Giants did him dirty in that.
Yeah.
That was like so wrong, and like I'm so upset about that to this day. But I think that the Giants made a dumb move on that part when instead of paying Saquon Barkley, they ended up paying an extension to Daniel Jones, and they paid Daniel Jones when they're not giving him the proper tools so he can grow, not giving him like weapons when he needed it, like wide receivers and pass catchers. And that just led to his downfall, and they ended up releasing him, and now he's on the Vikings. So I can't tell you who I think is
The
going to
Colts.
where.
Daniel Jones is on the Colts.
He's on the Colts now.
He got signed. I think it's a 1-year deal for the Colts.
I didn't see that. I haven't been keeping that much track, but I just know like there's a lot of fake rumors out there, and just for you guys, just be careful like who you're watching or listening to, because there's just some.
All right, so I'm going to put a fake rumor out there. I think Aaron Rodgers goes to the Browns. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to draft Travis Hunter with number 2. I think Titans are going with Abdul Carter.
Okay.
Browns draft Travis Hunter. You heard it here first. Browns draft Travis Hunter and get Aaron Rodgers. I think the Giants end up with Russell Wilson. I think he fits the best in there. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know what you want to say before we end off.
Just moral of the story, just like watch out who you're getting your information from. And like I was surprised, like there was just like some crazy things that rumors that I thought they were real, but they're just fake. And I look in the comments, and then people are like, no way, this is real. And it's just ridiculous. Like, people are just doing for views and clicks.
We'll see you next time when we find out who wins the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. I'm Angel, and this was Jaden. This was Ortega Squared podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.